Hi, my name is Amber and this is Ooh Aah Crochet. You're wondering why Ooh Aah Crochet, right? In our family, we are huggers. Not everybody's a hugger, but in our family we are huggers, and when we hug, we always say ooh ah. So that's why, because every piece of crochet I make feels like I'm giving a hug to somebody and spreading the love. I am from South Dakota. Most people don't even know what South Dakota is at, let alone when you put SD in a comment, they think it's San Diego. Nope, I'm from South Dakota. We don't drive covered wagons, and yes, we do have electricity. Alright, I have 5 children. I have a 19-year-old. She is not in the house anymore. She's out. Yay! I have a 5, a 4, a 3, and a 1-year-old. 3 boys and 1 girl. The 3-year-old is a girl, and she is feisty, a redhead. I have been crocheting since I was 8 years old. My grandmother taught me, and when I was a little older, I was a candy striper and volunteered. And I volunteered with a blind nun, and she had taught me some things that I had never seen before. To have a blind nun being crocheting, period, was amazing. But this lady was crocheting with plastic bags. Have you heard of plarn? Plastic yarn. For the last couple years, I would say, I've been known as the bag lady because I collect bags, plastic bags, which in South Dakota we still very much use. The old ladies will ask for 2 bags to bag their milk. They'll ask for, multiple bags. Anyway, so I collect bags and I crochet with them. It's one of those projects that I can take with me when I'm outside. I can do it in the car when I'm waiting for my kids to be picked up from school. And this is one of my projects that I made. This is just a little tote bag. And you crochet with plarn just the way you would do with normal yarn. And you can change your colors. You can, like I said, do pretty much anything you can do with yarn. It's a little tricky tying off ends, but you figure out how to make it work. You can do it thick, thin. You can do any color you can find. Plastic bags can be bread bags like my grandmother used to keep and save. You can use regular plastic bags like you get at a grocery store. You could use garbage bags that, aren't obviously used. I guess plarning for me means recycling. And in some of my bigger bags, like this one, you can use close to 500, maybe even 700 plastic bags and use them up, and those bags will last for years. I actually made a pair of sandals using plarn and using using flip-flop bottoms and use an awl, and just like you would make a sandal that they have on YouTube. You can make pretty much anything with plarn. I made a mat that went to Haiti for a sleeping mat. You can make mats for homeless. You can make bags for the homeless. So there's all kinds of churches that do that kind of thing. So that's something that we'll discuss on this channel. If that doesn't interest you, that's okay. A lot of states ban bags, so I completely understand. I use a lot of Red Heart. I've been donated tons and tons of yarn. There's not a lot of money with 5 kids, as you can understand. So I'm a stay-at-home mom, and most of my yarn has been given to me. I do go out and buy some, of course. You got to buy some new yarn. But my aunt recently had just donated or given to me, inherited 10 boxes of yarn. So I have yarn. I can't show you my whole crochet room because it's full of yarn. And it's not all put away because Christmas, and Santa's everywhere. Santa's, what did Terry say? Terry from Yarnjoy said, looks like Santa's shop exploded. That's where my room looks like now. And as you can tell, I'm nervous. Sorry. I'll try not to do that anymore. I do want to thank Gypse Rose for challenging me to start my first video. I've been wanting to do this for years and years. I've just been afraid, and yeah. So, thank you, Gypsy, for challenging me, and thank you for granting my Christmas wish. I appreciate that. I also want to thank Kim with Blue Cherub Crochet. I love you, girl. I love talking to you. I love your personality. I love how we interact and how we can talk. And it's just, we have a ton of laughs. And I want to thank Ella with No Catchy Name, and Randi with Randy's with Random Randy's Ramblings, for always being there to answer my questions and to help me if I was curious about something late at night or early in the morning. For the last year, I was breastfeeding, so I mean, my hours were late at night 90% of the time, and that's when Kim and I would talk a lot at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning here in South Dakota. I spend a lot of time during my day crocheting. You would think with 4 kids at home I wouldn't be able to, but I do. My boyfriend, or father of the kids, does most of the cooking at night. He's a little picky, so he's the one that cooks, and I'm the one that watches the kids. And I crochet a lot of times with the kids on my lap. They're running around, and there's a lot of putting the hook down, counting, making sure I didn't lose my spot, and then going back at it. I have several sets of hooks just for that reason, so all of my projects have their own hook, because otherwise, with a mom brain, I wouldn't be able to remember which project had which hook. So, as all of you I'm sure can understand. Right now I am working on doing some Heidi Bear's patterns. That's how I found Kim in the first place, is I saw Heidi's Bear patterns on Facebook probably, and just fell in love with them. I mean, they're just gorgeous. The horse and the bear and the giraffe, something that just really intrigued me. And then Katrina's Creations she's popped out so many of those things. She made some unicorns for her nieces for Christmas. So that's how I found those two, was the Heidi Bear's pattern. So anyway, that's what I'm going to try to work on, is some of those patterns. And I have the unicorn, or the horse, the fatty lumpkin, I think it's called. And then I was gifted the giraffe pattern by Gypse Rose. And then I still have to finish some commissions. Even after Christmas, I am doing commissions. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I have done a lot of commissions to keep me busy. So the next one I'm working on is the Puppy Love Blanket by Amy Brewer, and it's a free pattern on her website that you can also download the PDF too, but you can follow it off her website. It's really cute. It's the meandering puppy paw turned into a blanket, I think is what it's called. But it's super cute. It's got the little paws, and then it's got a heart next to it. And then I'm working on a king-size blanket that I have yet to start. I am procrastinating, as all of us do when you have a commission. I've got to design it. I've got ideas in my head. I've got ideas from her. I just haven't started it yet, and I tend to make projects bigger than what they're supposed to be. So I'm working on that, but it's got to have a buffalo. It's got to have a bear. It's got to have Native American my best friend, is Native American. And so her and I do a lot of things together. We talk about crafts all day long. We always ask each other what we're doing, what you're up to. Could be the middle of the night, you know, asking, hey, what are you making? I mean, it's great to have friends like that. So anyway, I'm making this blanket for her, and I want it to be really special. So I'm working on that design, and you'll get to see that process. The other one I need to finish, which is on my was on my hook before I started doing Christmas stuff and crochet, or Christmas and craft fair things, was the Hotel of Bees shawl that was given to me by Angelia from the Little Xena Patch, and I appreciate that. And I did get working on it, and then I got stalled because of the craft fairs and working on all these commissions and Christmas. Christmas takes a lot of time. I have done a couple test patterns, and this guy is one of them. If you haven't heard of Old Soul Crochet, you need to check out Valerie Church. If you love stuffed animals at all, and then the big stuffed animals, you have to check her out because she makes the cutest things. Now, this was the panda bear pattern before she changed the hook size, but isn't he adorable? His eyes are sad, and that's because of the felt that I went with. You can do any color, you can do any felt that you want, or fleece, I guess it's called, but I just happen to have, he's now my pincushion, oops. I just happen to have this. This is some of my kids' old fleece pajamas, and he's got a little tushy, little tail is squishy, but he sits in my craft room. So I've done a couple test patterns for her, for Valerie Church, and then I've done some for Hannah with the Cozy Cottage Crochet, and this is the Bellatrix shawl. It's not completely blocked out because my iron doesn't know what steam is, apparently. It's broke or just not working. So I blocked it as much as I could, and I like it, and in my cold basement, which is where I'm at right now, it's very comfy, and it sometimes goes on my shoulders and it sometimes goes on my legs. So there's that. And let's see, some of the other projects I have done. Sorry, I'm grabbing in my bin here. I have watched O Day Crochet for quite a while. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. But since my grandmother taught me how to crochet, I look at some of the vintage patterns and really just like, oh, my grandma used to do that, you know? So this is one of her patterns, but on her video, she used cotton, and then they came out with scrubby yarn, and so I used scrubby yarn instead of cotton. There's the Scrubby Sparkle, which is Red Heart, and then just the regular Scrubby. It's a little rough to work with on your hands, but this can certainly be used to wash dishes. But the vintage pattern and dress, if you, I don't know, maybe some of your grandmas or maybe your moms used to put dresses over the dish soaps just to cover them up, make them pretty, because that's what they did back then. So I've been making a bunch of these, and last winter I think I made 50, and then this winter I've done probably just as many. They don't take that long to make. I can put out one in roughly an hour, tying in all the ends, cutting everything that needs to be cut, and just depends on how many color changes you do is how long it's going to take you to do. But her tutorial, I can't even say that word, her video is on her website, and it's just a vintage crochet dress. You can make them into pot holders too, with a little loop on this, and I haven't done that yet, but I do have plans to do that one too. So those are those, and I use a lot of scrubby yarn. Again, it's kind of rough on your hands, but the dresses are super pretty. And then, speaking of scrubby yarn and Red Heart, do you ever go to the yarn store and just get really frustrated because they're supposed to have a sale, they're supposed to have this yarn, and then they don't? Or you've had this yarn for years, and then they all of a sudden, it's not there anymore. I don't know for sure if Red Heart is discontinuing this yarn, but from the looks of it, the Scrubby Sparkle is going away from Joann's at least, and that was the only place that I really could find the colors that I liked, and they had a bunch of it, and it was a lot cheaper than Walmart. Walmart carries the Scrubby yarn, but it doesn't carry the Scrubby Sparkle, and it really does sparkle. I don't know if you can see that. Recently I went to Joann's. They were supposed to have a sale on the scrubby yarn, and they didn't, like, whatever they had in stock there was it, and they weren't getting any more. And then they came out with scrubby cotton. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but if you look at it, it's the most muted, dull, not colorful thing. It looks like a 10-year-old washcloth, not even crocheted up. I mean, the yarn itself looks like an old washcloth that somebody put away dirty, to me. It's not as colorful or bright as any of these are. It's just not as colorful. Here's a full ball of the scrubby yarn. So you see how it sparkles? And it's made out of polyester, and so it's made out of polyester, and it's supposed to dry a lot faster than cotton would, and that's why I got it. That's why I started with it, because you know how dish rags will stink after a while. You can solve that by adding white vinegar to your laundry or wash. Let's see. I'll just show you a few more things that I've been working on, and we'll probably call that good for this episode. And I've got big plans. I hope to talk to you at least every other week. And if you have questions for me, I'd be willing to ask them. I ramble a lot, and I get embarrassed a lot, and so then I'll smile and giggle and say funny things, because that's me. So, and a lot of eye rolling. This is another pattern by one of our YouTuber friends, Lacey with Hooked on Owls. This is like the cutest thing ever, and I used just what I had on hand, and that's 90% of what I do is use what I have on hand. And this actually happens to be some of that yarn that my aunt gave me. I believe it is Red Heart's stripes, and then just a brown, but very, very pretty. So that's one of those. Then I also watch a lot of Kendra with Hooked by Happenstance. I love her. I love her personality, and you either like her or you don't, and if you don't, she doesn't care, and you know, that's okay with me. But she made these a while back. These are Santa's britches, and so I tried my hat at those too. And on their website, there's a little saying that says, here's a little something made with love and stitches. It comes with the merriest Christmas wishes. Ho, ho, ho. Untie Santa's britches and then use the washcloths to do your dishes. So everybody I had at my craft fair was like, oh, those are so cute, but I wouldn't want to take them apart. And then everybody that looks at my dresses are, oh, they're so cute, but I wouldn't wash my dishes. And you know, we want you to use the stuff that we crochet with. That's kind of the point, maybe? I don't know. But it's okay. Either way. Let's see. Oh, one last thing. I have been, I got a bunch of stuff done for Christmas. I worked on a pillow for my niece that I taught how to latch hook. Yay! Teaching crafts. I love it. My sister is one of those that's not crafty, and so I taught my niece how to latch hook, and she got a horse latch hook. And then when she was done with it, she gave it back to me, and I made a pillow out of it. I just made a big granny square on the outside, and then crocheted it all together, and then used a pillow form for the middle. I also made my niece, my other niece, a unicorn, and the hats that, can't remember, oh, the, Debbie from the Canadian Crocheter was talking about the Delaney hat, so I made 2 of them for my nieces, and one of them was in these colors. If that doesn't look like cotton candy or gumdrops or I can't remember what character has this color hair, but oh my gosh, it was so bright. Just perfect for her. Now, I'm not one to like pink. I don't like pink. I never have liked pink. So even for me to use that color was like, oh, okay. But it was for my niece, so you do what you do what they like, right? All right. So anyway, you can find me on Facebook under Amber Joy Barnes. You can find the Ooh Aah Crochet group on Facebook. I did open that up. Like I said, I've been planning for a while and just never done it. I'm also on Ravelry as Amber Joy 21, and then there is an Ooh Aah Crochet group there. It's OOH AAH Crochet. So feel free to join that. I have a welcome chatter group or chatter discussion set up there, so feel free to tell me who you are and how long you've been crocheting and what your favorite thing to crochet is, and all that kind of stuff. I'm okay, again, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I know I watch everybody else do this and I just giggle when they ramble because I think it's great, you know. You're still thinking, your brain's still going, and it's just a part of life, right? So anyway, hugs from South Dakota, ooh ah, and I hope this brings you a smile, and Gypsy, thanks again. Everybody else, I hope you had a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a wonderful season of getting together with family and friends. Alright, we'll see you next time. Thank you.